Oh, hello, Barkians, people, folks, hopefully people that have made decisions in their life that makes them happy. I am dreading, and I mean absolutely dreading going to work today. And I was dreading going to work yesterday. And I recorded a little episode, and it turns out that my mic wasn't working, and I didn't really notice that it wasn't working because I was using a different camera app that didn't have audio levels on the screen, so I missed that it wasn't working. But anyways, have you ever had someone question your work ethic just because you get sick of working? And it's not really, to me, it's not a work ethic thing. Like, the generation before me, my parents, their parents, the generations before me, and to an extent my generation as well, because it seems like what really happens is the generations, even though I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, the people that are my age, they just slowly adapt and conform to their parents' views and outlooks, because that's how that works. Typically you've got the Smith family, and they're all either conservatives or progressives, Republicans or Democrats, or it's like a family thing. It's like you are what you grow up in, and that's why it's always surprising to see people break the cycle. Like if you've got a family that just works on their own, they're all self-made, and they just like sell stuff at flea markets, just speaking off the top of my head, but your chances of breaking that mold are probably less than your chances of staying in that mold. So you see it in TV shows, like my father was a cop, and his dad was a cop, and his dad was a cop, and I'm a cop. That kind of thing. Like what you grow up in, what you grow up around, like it becomes your way of life. And a lot of people my age, middle age, 42, it's like I've seen them like go backwards. And I do blame politics a little bit for that, but just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, like if I could not work a 9-to-5, I would not work a 9-to-5. My sense of like who I am and pride and all that stuff, that's pride, fucking with you, is my sense of pride is not in a job. It's not in, oh, look what I did per hour, for this company. Look, I helped them, and they gave me some of their money, a little bit of their money. And I'm not saying that I don't appreciate jobs. I do. I mean, that's the way everything is structured. I don't hate on corporations' jobs. I mean, that's somebody took a risk, somebody took a chance, or had a great idea, created a company, made themselves very wealthy, and then in turn was able to provide jobs to people who are not so much a risk taker, don't have a bigger vision. And yeah, some people that have visions and have great work ethics and would take a risk if they had the money to take a risk, they would do so and try to make their own company, but it just doesn't work out. Not everyone can win the lottery, not everyone can win a pageant of some kind, not everyone can win a contest, and life is a big contest of how far you can get, blah, 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 corporate-wise. But there's two sides. There's those folks who are very career-oriented, career-driven, and then there's people that I think are like me, that value everything else above their career: family, time travel. How am I ever going to time travel if I have to go to work? How the fuck am I ever going to go back to, Marty McFly era, play basketball as a wolf? How am I going to do that? It's going to be tough. And that's, that's this whole creator thing. That's this making podcasts, making obscure mic videos and stuck in my generation videos and, obscure tech videos. And that's doing all that. Trying to, maybe catch lightning in a bottle and have a hope to not work a 9-to-5 someday. I am fully aware that it's not likely that any of these projects will get me out of my current 9-to-5 situation. But, you can't win if you don't play. And I'm trying to play the self-sufficient game. And I have been for a good while, like going on 5 years now. Maybe 5 years since I started my first podcast. Not real sure. But man, it is so difficult to go to work. It is the hardest thing ever to wake up every morning and get myself to go. Oh God, that was a little bit stupid. It's hard to get myself to wake up and go to work. And it's not because I lack work ethic. It's not because I lack work ethic. It's just the whole being gone. And my drive, which is only a half an hour, which is nothing to most people, but it's something to me. It's a half hour here, half hour there. It's taking away from my life. And life is short. It's just difficult. I try to do a good job, but no job that I've had in the past 10 to 12 years has given me any kind of sense of accomplishment. For a while, I was proud that I made really good money at the first job that got me into management. I was kind of proud. I didn't talk about it, but I was internally I've made it. No, I didn't make it. Financially doing well, but not. There was no happiness from it, really, except for internally knowing that I didn't live paycheck to paycheck, which I kind of still did anyways. You think you're not going to have money issues when you make X amount of money, but you really still do, because when you do make more, you spend more. But here's an example. I think that anything you get paid to do is a job, right? I mean, that makes sense to me. Anything that you get paid to do is a job. So I've got one of my best friends, his nephew, has an opportunity to make 6 figures professional gaming. This kid's a fantastic gamer, online, streaming, twitching, bro, doing all that good stuff. And he's got an opportunity to do that for a living. Well, the conservative family around him says that's not a job and would rather him do sewage removal or something, Is that a job? If you're not going to give gaming, professional gaming, that he would have to sign a contract to start doing. If that's not a job, how is sucking shit out of a septic tank a job? What's the difference? Is it because one is blue collar? Is it because one is probably guaranteed for life as long as you do the job well? Maybe the gaming is guaranteed for life, and even if it's not, wouldn't you think after the gaming has run its course, maybe his nephew, gets to 40, 50 and gets bored with gaming, then he could probably still go pull some sewage out of septic tanks, I would think. But in the meantime had made, makes a whole lot of money doing gaming. It's very confusing to me. They say it's not a real job. That's not a real job. He's getting paid for it. How much more real do you want? If he's getting paid 6 figures to play video games, how is that not a job? I think we're just so stuck in that work ethic grind. Like, again, you know, it's the old generation versus the new generation. The new generation, and I've heard every single one of my kids, and I have a 20-year-old, 10-year-old, 7-year-old, every single one of them have said, I want to be a YouTuber or a gamer, or like that's in their career options now. That's something they consider to be an option for them as a career, and guess what? They are right. It is an option for a career. Granted, you have to be really good at it, just like you would have to be really good at other things to get a job, like to be a professional soccer player, football player, scientist, chemist, engineer. Like, you have to have some skill. You can't just hop on YouTube, talk about weird microphones like me, and make it a career. It just doesn't work like that. It can, you know, catch lightning in a bottle. Still going to work your ass off. I'd put a lot of work into all this stuff. Not this. This is like, how much work is it to clamp my microphone to my shit handle and drive down the road and talk while driving? Nothing else I could be doing, you know. Can't even masturbate in the car while I'm driving. It's too dangerous. This is much safer. So, you know, you got to try. Like, if there's something you want, and it boils right back down to that. Like, everyone telling you that gaming's not a job, you can't do this, you can't do that. Do what you want. You know, do what you want. Don't have any regrets. R-A-G-R, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Don't have any regret. No regrets. No regrets. And if you want to be a gamer for a while, or if you take a temporary job, you know how many people that are blue-collar workers take temporary jobs? What about roofing? Roofers, yard mowing specialists, like, I don't know what the fucking term is right now. I'm tired. But, like, what about those people that just, like, they get work in chunks? Like, is that a real job? Since it's not consistent, straight line, clock in, clock out, 9 to 5 every day, is that not a job? Is selling lemonade by the road not a job? It's just frustrating. Work ethic is striving to do exactly what you want to do and pushing hard for it. That's work ethic. It's not working at the fucking sewage treatment place. I mean, it can be, if that's what you're proud of and that's what you're into and that's what you enjoy. And there you go, right back to it. Like, do you enjoy it? Like, I work at McDonald's. I don't work at McDonald's, but if I worked at McDonald's and I loved going to work every day, why would you leave? If you can make the money work to live your life, why would you leave? You know, do what you like. Frustrating. It's frustrating to be driving to something like, I don't like this. This isn't me. This isn't me at all. The job I do is like the furthest thing from who I am. The furthest thing from who I am. But most of them would be. No matter where I worked, it would probably be the furthest thing from who I am. And that's not something I'm willing to settle on. I'm not willing to just settle on that and just do that because society says you have to. Because having money to needing money to live says that you have to do what provides you the most money and there's no way out. If YouTube and podcasting was giving me 75% of what I make at my current job, I'd be out. I would be out of that current job and I would find a way to make up that other 25%, probably through buying, selling, you know. I'm pretty good at finding a good deal and then flipping that deal to make a little bit of money. And by good, I mean I work at it when I have spare time, looking for stuff that's underpriced to buy and flip on a, you know, online market for more. You know, I am I'm a hustler. I would call myself a big money hustler. Comment if you know what that's from. Big money hustlers. Don't look it up. Just comment if you know. But yeah, I like to hustle a little bit. Unfortunately, it doesn't get me out of my 9 to 5, which I'm on my way to now. And it's not been fun. This is my third year with this company. And the company has its perks and it has some good things about it. But this has been a hard year compared to the other 2 years that I was here. This one's been tough. Like, everything's just getting more difficult. People are getting more difficult. Tasks are being dropped down. Like, the scope of what I do has doubled since I got there to what it is now. And that's the thing too. Like, oh, do a good job, we'll give you more. Yay! Hurrah! It's like, man, I just want to control my own destiny. I want to be Destiny's Child. I want to be jumping, with happiness and I can't remember any more Destiny's Child songs. I was going to keep the puns going. I can't do it. Jumpin' is all that came to mind. There's so many more. What a great group that was. I don't know. It's rough. It's rough out here. Hopefully, I can do a little resume. I'll do a little before and after. So this is before work. This is my attitude and my feelings before work. They won't change, but maybe I'll be a little more chipper when I'm leaving work because I'm leaving work. Maybe I'll have a good day. I don't know. This will be interesting. It'll be the before and after. So you're getting the before, and as soon as I can get myself out of this place and my car not going up a hill, my car struggles. Tiny car. I will hit record on the way home and we'll see what my demeanor's like. Right now, I'm pretty upset that I have to go to work, which is a daily occurrence mostly. First year, so it was fine. I think I have a 2-year limit on how okay I am with going to work. Like, I'm good for about 2 years, and then at 2 years, I'm like, all right, I'm getting bored. I need something else to do, so I need to find something more satisfying, gratifying. And this ain't it. It'll do. It's the best job I've had, but I view everything as stepping stones. Like, every job I've left and went to a new one, which I've done quite a bit. I was at this job 3 years, the job before this for 2 years, and the job before that for 8 years. 8 years, I can't believe I did that actually. But I'm always looking to move up quality of life stepping stones. My mother-in-law hates that. She thinks it's like she's, why are you switching jobs? I had the most money I ever made me miserable. So I dropped down to less money, better happiness, and that worked out. And then this job was better happiness and then a jump back up in money to almost what I made at the 8-year place. Really close to what I made at the 8-year place. Like, I'm not doing it aimlessly. I'm trying to improve my quality of life while not destroying myself financially. Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. She thinks it's crazy that I've switched jobs, that I've had 2 jobs in the past 5 years. That's crazy to her after having a job for 8 years. Trying to improve my quality of life. Let's see how I feel after work today. Well, I must say, since it's my early day, which is when I leave at 3 o'clock as opposed to 5:10, I feel a little better. A little. Nothing great. I'm still kind of not thrilled about stuff. But, I feel okay. This morning it was rainy and overcast. This afternoon it's sunny, clear skies, well, clouds, but like bright white fluffy cottonelle clouds. I don't know. It's rough. I don't want to go back, but I'm glad to be out of there. Tough, man. Just tough. What can I do? You got any suggestions? Like, get rich quick schemes. I don't even want to be rich. I just need to make X amount of dollars per month. See that X right there, the circle? There you go. Remember that? Oh, gotcha. Oh, oh. Good times. 90s, early 2000s, you know. It's going to be weird when it's like 2043 and I'm 62. That's going to be strange. I wonder if I'll still be doing this. Just much worse for wear than I already look now. Which I think if it weren't for the gray, I don't think anything else matters that much. I'm not a sunbather, not a leather-skinned folk. So I don't really have much of the wrinkle stuff going on yet. Of course, there's like, you know, around the eyes, there's a little bit of telling, you know, ageification there. But I think work is the reason we look so old sometimes. There's yet another thing to say bad about the 9-to-5 ways of corporate America. Fuck. I found a great picture of a podcast host. Really excited to unveil that one. It's good times. The internet never loses. Speaking of which, wonder if anybody watched Donald Trump's arraignment yesterday. Not that it was anything like spectacular. It wasn't. I was actually halfway impressed that like the trumpets and the anti-Trumpsters were kind of mingling in the same area, talking, being cool, being kind to each other. Granted, this is Miami, not the fucking Bible Belt. But it was still interesting to watch. It was still cool to see, you know, just a little bit of non-craziness. They were crazy. There's crazies out there. The guy in the jail get-up that had the lock him up sign, clearly an anti-Trumper. Look what your dumb ass doing jumping out in front of the motorcade. What the fuck do you think's going to happen? You're going to get arrested, and you're probably going to get in a lot of trouble. And guess what? You fucking deserve it. And there's the problem. That is the problem. People that do not like Trump will, of course, revel in any time that a Trumpster gets in trouble for doing something stupid. But I will also revel in the opposite side of that aisle doing dumb shit and winning dumb fucking prizes. Congratulations. Dude, like, not even a younger guy. Like, this was an older guy jumping out in a fucking jail suit in front of the motorcade. He's lucky he's alive. Like, they probably could have shot the motherfucker and not much would have been done about it. Which, you know, that's what Trump says he can do. He can shoot people and get away with it and still win president or whatever. Make no mistake about it. I don't care that Trump is, like, still the top Republican candidate. I actually want him to run for president. I actually want him to win the nomination for Republicans. That is the easiest path to not having some crazy fucker like him or DeSantis in the White House, because I am convinced, and I know 2016 I was surprised, but I am convinced that Trump cannot win. The swing voters are long gone. The people who have regrets, they're out there. I drive around my hometown, which is the reddest of areas. It's a 77%, 77% red county. Now, pre-January 6th, there were still an absolute ton of flags and signs in people's yards. And the flags were mounted in places that were semi-permanent. There was a lot of them. There was a lot of signage in between towns on like country roads or, you know, highways, houses up on the hills of highways. A lot of signage, crazy signage, like full detailed, like Trump is this, da-da-da, Democrats are this, da-da-da, and this is why we need da-da-da. Fucking paragraphs on big billboards in people's houses. This area I live in is fucking nuts, folks. 98% of that shit is gone. 98% of that shit is long fucking gone. You have to really look to find a Trump flag anymore, and that's in a 75+% red county. Like, I am very much the minority for voting the way I do. And again, I'm an independent. That's what I claim to be. I will vote for anyone that I think is good. It's hard to say good for the country because it's hard to find anyone that's good for the country. But I will vote for the lesser of evils no matter what side it's on. Lesser of evils party. But yeah, I actually I hope Trump gets the nomination. I really do. I do not think he can win. Not a chance in fucking hell. Oh my God, his followers will be so pissed when he loses, though. That could actually set off. And you say civil war, but like, how many people are actually going to go out and fight for this motherfucker? Not that many. A lot of them will keyboard fight for him. They'll be the warriors behind the keyboards. But they're not going to go out and actually fight. And fight who, you know? Nobody's really pleased about the direction of this country on either side. Like, government is just totally fucking atrocious in every way, and it's more outwardly atrocious where it used to be more hidden. But you know, there's still a level of checks and balances. Like, if you look at society as a whole, pretty fucked up. You know, people are pretty greedy and terrible and make bad decisions at the base of everything. So for us to think that, like, the Democratic side is, like, good people, no. Nobody fucking thinks that. People in general are just, at least the people we know about in general, are not good people. It's the people we don't know about that are actually solid human beings that just want to stay out of all this shit. But yeah, it's ridiculous. I watched that yesterday, and I watched Trump because I can't help it. You know, it's interesting to me. I don't talk about it on social media. I don't go to those depths. But watching the unraveling of what this country is as far as, like, people goes, because it's just unraveling in, like, a, you know, oh, it's okay to show our true colors. That's what I mean by unraveling. Which is like a blessing and a curse at the same time. At least I know who to stay the fuck away from. But watching him go to a restaurant, like an Italian restaurant or whatever he was at in Miami, and hugging people and, like, fucking arms around Jorge Masvidal of the UFC. Motherfucker, man. It is always a spectacle. Always a spectacle with that guy. And it's reality television. And it's like, you want a reality television guy to run the country? Well, you had it. You got it. It happened. And it was terrible. Of course, the people who like money more than morals, they didn't think it was terrible because, you know, pockets get lined depending on who's in the White House. But I don't give a fuck about money. And, like, you know, it's expensive to live, and it has been for a long time, and it's, you know, you just got to make decisions. It's fucking hot dogs today instead of steak. You know, I'm still privileged, and I'm still completely blessed by everything around me. It doesn't matter if it's more expensive or not. You find ways to cut costs and balance everything out, and yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's paycheck to paycheck for life. And it's not changing outside of any stroke of amazing luck. And that's just what it is. That's how it goes. Live to be happy, don't live to be rich. And money doesn't make happiness. I've been there. I've tried that. Talked about it earlier. The one job I've had that was a 6-figure job, I wouldn't go back for 7 figures. I wouldn't. Would not go back for 7 figures. I'm lying. I would go back for 7 figures. I would go back for a year. And I would pay shit off and set myself up better. And then I would leave. I would do 1 year of misery. 1 year of misery, I could do that. Probably not any more than that. 1 year of misery. Get myself in better financial shape. And then bail. that would be okay because a year will go by like that, you know? And 7 figures is a pretty big deal. I could pay off everything and buy a new house and have a little bit put back and then start working somewhere else. And then that would be able to stockpile into a little more of a cushion, and stuff would be going well and better. So I would go back for 7 figures. Old job. Hope you're not watching this because I don't even want to be based with that, or put in that predicament of having to put the money where my mouth is, so to speak. But yeah, that's a good question for you folks out there. Like, would you do would you do the thing you hate the most for a 7-figure salary, and how long would you do it? It's kind of like, I've told my wife this a whole lot. Like, I would not want to be famous. I think that would ruin your quality of life. Seriously. Just wouldn't want it. Some people can handle it. Some people are made for it. I'm not. But if I did get, let's just say, somebody said, hey, we watch your YouTube channel. This is very, very fucking hypothetical. Hey, we watch your YouTube channel. We think you'd be really good in movies. So, would you like to do a movie? Yes, I will do the movie. Sounds good. I would make my bank. Again, just like me working a 7-figure job, I would do movies until I knew that I could then go work a regular job and live really well for the rest of my life, and have everything mostly paid off. House paid off, just paying land taxes and shit. That, and then I would quit, and I would fade into obscurity. I would probably, obscure, one of my favorite words. And then I would, I'm sure I would have to go through some shit, sort of like a Macaulay Culkin style thing. Like, oh, he was big for exactly a minute, and then he said, fuck all this, I'm out. Which I don't know if that's what Macaulay Culkin did or not. Like, you would have to live with that. There would be some residual effects. But for the most part, I think if you got in and got out, I think you'd be okay. Like, who bothers Rick Moranis? You know what I mean? Like, he did some movies and he quit acting. Who bothers him? I don't think anybody really bothers him. And I am certainly a Rick Moranis type. Like, they're not going to follow me because of my looks. They're not going to follow me because of my body. They're not going to follow me because of who I'm dating, because I'm married, and, the plan is to stay that way for life. And yeah, it would just be, I'm okay with some short-term pain for some long-term pleasure. Yeah, who's not? But answer that question. The thing you hate the most, or the thing you don't want to be the most. Like, what would compromise you as a person the most as far as a career or an amount of money being earned goes? How much would it cost? How much would it take to get you to do it? And how long would you do it? I'm just curious to see what people's, counterbalance is. That's me. I don't want to do retail is where I made that 6-figure salary as a retail manager and dealt with people. I hate dealing with people. Like, unless they're my people, chosen by me. Like, I don't want to deal with people I don't choose to spend my time with. So that is kind of the counterbalance to me. I'm very private, sort of. Like, I really only hang out with my wife. Sometimes I sprinkle in a few friends. Rare. Very rare. Very rare. But yeah, answer that question for me. And, we'll get on to the next episode. And give me ideas. What should we talk about for an episode? Lo and behold, I thought this would be the kind of I should have turned back there. Oh, fuck. Slow traffic. Anyways. I thought I'd never run out of ideas on this. That's not true. I'm already running out of ideas. So, if you got any ideas on talking points, let me know. Let me know.